Hey everybody, it is Daniel here for Mobile Syrup once again, and we are looking at the biggest tablet you have ever seen. This is the Samsung Galaxy NotePRO 12.2. Now, why would you need a 12.2 inch tablet? Well, you probably wouldn't. This is not necessarily meant to be as portable as an iPad or even the smaller Galaxy tabs like the 8 or 10.1. This is going to be used in your living room, it's going to be used in the office, and it's going to stay stationary quite a lot of the time. Now, Samsung knows that this is also going to be used for business, and they've included a lot of business-focused features here that make it relatively easy to replace a laptop. Now, they have things like Remote PC, which allows you to access a computer to do troubleshooting or just get Windows apps on your big screen. There's e-meeting, which was demoed to me during the initial product launch, and Samsung says that it's an in-house app, built in-house app that basically allows you to share screens between devices when you're in a meeting. So it's actually quite useful. Handcom Viewer is the viewing portion of a note suite that Samsung says provides the most amount of Microsoft Office functionality of any Office replacement, and that includes Google's own Quick Office. So it hasn't necessarily been proven. I don't think that it's that much better than any of the other ones out there, but it's a good choice. It also comes pre-installed with Dropbox, and you get 50 gigs of storage for 2 years. You get a 1-year subscription to Business Week Plus magazine, as well as the Wall Street Journal. And also, Samsung apps have been included, and you can see here that it's been radically redesigned. It's no longer ugly. And, wow, okay, let's do that. It's not only better looking, but Samsung says it has a lot of improved choice in terms of apps. Now, we know that Samsung has tried to convince users to use Samsung apps by either partnering with developers on exclusives or making apps only available in Samsung apps. And it hasn't been a fully successful venture, but it's getting better. And I say getting better because they are partnering with a few companies to give you value adds. So where you may not get a discount on in-app purchases on Google Play, you'll see it here. You don't really recognize a lot of the bigger apps here, but there's Flipboard, there's a lot of Samsung apps, and you get Samsung gifts. Now, this is what I wanted to show you. So anything that you download here, they're basically giving you for free, and in this case, Evernote, you'll get a number of months of free premium use, which is a huge advantage when you're buying a tablet for productivity. So let's look at the interface. You see here is the magazine UX, also known as Flipboard, and it is powered by Flipboard, but it looks quite different. And obviously, you can tap on certain categories and you can change them up to suit your needs. It doesn't do anything necessarily better than Flipboard, because once you open an article, it just is Flipboard. It's very similar to the UI that you'd expect if you downloaded Flipboard for Android, which is not to denigrate it in any way. It's just not remarkable. So it's basically like a beautiful widget on your screen. Now, when I say beautiful, I'm talking about the screen quality. This is a very high resolution. It's 2560 by 1600. And on a 12-inch display, you'd think that it wouldn't be as sharp, but Samsung's included some amazing screen technology. This is an IPS display. It's got amazing viewing angles, great color. It's just a very, very nice screen to use. when you move beyond that, you see that Samsung's tweaked a few of the UI elements that'll be coming in the Galaxy S5 in the next few months. You have these flatter, quick setting toggles, which are actually much nicer, and the whole kind of interface here has been changed to be a lot less touch whizzy and a lot more user friendly. And you see here we're running Android 4.4.2, which is the latest version, and you are probably not going to be disappointed with the performance on this. Anything that has been optimized for Android tablets will run beautifully on here. Unfortunately, there is still a dearth of really good tablet apps, and we'd love to see some developers take it upon themselves to develop them, but Samsung's worked with a number of them to get them up and running. Other aspects of the UI include this widget screen for productivity. You have you can have your email, you have your calendar, your office information when you install HandCom. You have business news, and obviously we've shown you that as well. You also have the S Pen. Now the S Pen has not changed in terms of its design from the Galaxy Note 3. This is the same one found in that device. But the interface for apps like S Note has been tweaked slightly from the Galaxy Note 10.1 2014 edition, which we looked at earlier this year. And the performance on the pressure-sensitive Wacom digitizer has also been improved considerably. And this is one of the main reasons that you'd want to spend nearly $800 on a device like this, because you don't get the same kind of responsiveness and pressure sensitivity when you're using a capacitive stylus like the ones you find on an iPad, because the iPad screen is just not made to be used with a stylus. It's made to be used with a finger, so it doesn't have pressure sensitivity and all that. Other advantages to the huge screen real estate on the S Pen is that you can basically do whatever you want. For example, I can draw this square here and include a calculator, but on the Galaxy Note 3 this would have taken up the entire screen. But if I want, I can then add a second screen and I can browse the internet. Obviously nothing nothing too remarkable, but let's look at the ways that Samsung has actually improved the S window functionality. You can now have 4 apps at once. So if I want to include e-meeting here, I'm just going to close these pen window apps. Okay, and then I want my gallery, and then I want my files, and then I want my internet browser. So here we have 4 images, or 4 apps running at the same time. They are actually running. It's not just, they're not running individually and then they transition over. Or if they do, the transition itself is very seamless. You can see here, scrolling is not really affected when I'm in either of the apps. So this is one of the main advantages too to using the big screen. You can literally have 4 apps, and none of them are really optimized. The apps are meant to be used in certain configurations, but obviously Android is so extensible that Samsung figured, hey, what the heck, let's just add the functionality and see what people come up with. Then you can save the configuration. So if you want, you can create a combo, paired window, and there you go. So now I can open up all 4 of these apps at the same time just by dragging them into a screen. So there you go, that's the new S window. And there are a lot more apps that support it. You know, Chrome, Hangouts, YouTube, Gmail. All of the apps now support what was once a very Samsung apps-centric feature. The other thing that might be of interest to show is the new keyboard, and it's actually quite impressive what Samsung has managed to do with the new keyboard. It's a full-sized keyboard. It is the same size as you'd find on an 11 or 12-inch laptop, and it's far better, and I mean far better, than the one that came with previous Galaxy devices. This is a completely new Samsung keyboard. I have railed against Samsung for years about the quality of its virtual keyboard on its smartphones and tablets, and this is the first one that I can safely say is actually quite good. It still uses SwiftKey's autocorrect, but it's not the same design. It has directional keys here that don't get in the way. It's a great keyboard. I'm very impressed. The other thing that I found interesting about this, and what we'll also see in the Galaxy S5, is this is the Tab Pro and Note Pro series is the first product that does away with the menu button on the bottom of the device. So obviously you can see here Samsung has still included that home button, the hardware home button, and the two capacitive keys, but this is no longer a menu button, it's a multitasking button. And you can see here the multitasking UI has been changed up a little bit. You could hold down on the home button to access Google Now, so there's that as well if you want it. And overall, you know, this is a really great tablet. It's just a lot of money. It's a great tablet for a lot of money, and I think that the $419 Tab Pro 8.0, which has the same screen resolution as this in an 8-inch screen for a much sharper picture, is probably the way to go. This is more aimed at the business user, the office that wants to buy a number of these tablets at the same time, and to that end, I think that this is more of a curiosity than anything else. It's, you know, it's easy to use in one hand, but it's bulky, it's big, it's a little bit too heavy, it's a little bit too big. You know, I think the 10.1-inch size has become the standard for a reason. And while I don't think necessarily that Samsung is, you know, trying to create a new screen size category just for the sake of it, I also think that this is going to end up being quite a niche product. Anyway, I've been rambling for too long, and I want to go back to eating my cereal. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Daniel from Mobile Syrup, and this is the Galaxy NotePRO 12.2 from Samsung. Take it easy.